Start streaming.
Yeah.
Start the theme tune.
So, hello.
We're not live yet.
Just so you know, I'm looking at like speech volume on OBS, and that's all in the yellow, yours and mine. But that theme tune goes right into the red.
Does it? Is it super loud? Is it? Yeah, our D Live
it's
listeners.
Hot.
That's it. We can go live on YouTube now. So yeah, our D Live listeners heard the theme tune. So did our.
Oh.
Let me check. Our Periscope watchers as well have been able to hear the theme tune, but our YouTube listeners haven't.
Well, what's the Periscope link? Because that's the one I want to share on.
No, I think you have to look
Twitter.
at my Twitter.
All right, I'll go on your Twitter and then I'll share it because I think this will be a good way to do things.
Yeah.
So whilst we do that,
we're trying out new tech, people. To our listeners, we're trying out some new tech, and I'm trying some restreaming stuff. And apparently, we're live on Periscope. I don't know whether anyone can check that for us. Going as smooth as it normally is.
Your homepage points to, on Twitter, patrioticalternative.org.uk.
Yeah, I need to change that. That was a gag that's gone on for too long.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Well, you're the. So let me see. What? Live now? No, that's sort of Big Tunes. That's from a while ago. No, I don't see it on Periscope. Was it Media? Maybe. No, not Media. Oh, never mind. I'll just put the YouTube link. I mean, that always works, doesn't it?
Yeah. Stick the YouTube link.
Yeah. So, as today is the 10th of September,
and it's the 9th of November tomorrow.
Yes, it's the 9th of November tomorrow. That is correct. It's one of those days where I feel it's like it's worth talking about bombings, and not just because of the film Brazil, which I refused to watch again because it gave me a headache.
I haven't watched that for years. I watched it like when I was a kid.
Do you remember like the panels filled with like wires and pipes, and it's all very complicated looking? It gave me a headache. Yeah. So the today is one of those days when it's worth talking about bombings, what have changed the course of history. I mean,
I'm going to do that in a bit. But
there's unsolved mysteries.
Yes, got to do our usual warm opening, I believe we called it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to tell me about Harry Hill's TV program.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, a great new TV show I've been watching. It's Harry Hill's World of TV, where each week he does like a different subject. So far I've watched documentaries, medical TV series, and the soaps. And then he shows like funny bits. You know, it's like TV Burp, but like it focuses on one subject.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Because Kay from Kay's Good Cooking was on that as well. God, that's weird. It really is weird.
That's funny because that's that silly app is telling me that I'm live on Periscope.
Mm.
And I'm working, but I can't actually find the feed anywhere. So I may or may not be live on Periscope. Does anybody know how to find me on Periscope?
We're live somewhere, and I can't see you on Periscope. So
I don't
if
even
guys,
know how Periscope works. I just did it for a gag.
neither do I. So all I can say is that if the guys on the YouTube chat, which I can see, tell me if it works on Periscope or any of the other sites,
If
which I
anybody
don't
has the
look at.
foggiest, how Periscope works.
Yeah, exactly.
We got not much chat going on, or is it my?
No, there isn't. There's 12 people watching. Stash Prada and English Scion are there. So
Evening Stash. Need to get you back on
we've
again
got
sometime. We always have a good chat with
two
Stash, don't we?
downvotes from Mark Collett and Laura Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An English skion who loves a bit of air law.
Does he now?
He loves playing air law. It's not Cass, but he seems to be a bit of a big fan of Cass.
Yeah, Unreal Tournament was more my cup of tea.
Unreal Tournament.
So yeah. It's. I mean, have I watched any? I saw the Orville recently. I think I mentioned that a couple of times before. The second series is, I think, a lot better than the first series. It feels less like Seth MacFarlane, more like actual Star Trek.
Yeah, I think a second series is always better than a first series, isn't it? Because I think you need the first series to get the things in the right. Like I never thought much to Bender in the early Futuramas. It wasn't until later on where he kind of really found his feet, was it?
Well, mind you, and there's certain shows like Game of Thrones or Lost where it starts off really good and then gets rubbish. Or Sopranos. Yeah, that's it. Or even it's just sort of case like I think Network is a good example of that. It's a film, it's not a series, but it sort of starts off really good, and then he's just another TV pundit like Rush Limbaugh. Yeah. So
Limbaugh, I think he's Limbaugh.
Limbaugh.
Limbach.
Yeah.
Limbach. I found out you can't actually put out to 1080p to YouTube Live.
Is that so?
Yeah, I have to put it out at 720. I thought now I've got a decent internet connection, I'll start throwing this thing out in HD, but no, you can't.
Well, that's the thing. I've been looking on OBS for like settings because I want to stream in 1080p maximum settings. But the most I can do is 480p, and then I go on YouTube Studio. It's like waiting for a live signal. I'm just like, oh, sod this. I'll record it and upload it later.
You can do it at 720p on OBS.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't see the options on OBS, and I've set OBS to 1080p, but
yeah,
it doesn't do that.
But it said it weren't happy.
If you're listening to the show,
I set the settings to 1080p in OBS, and then YouTube said it wasn't happy.
So if you're listening to the show now, welcome to Fortean Words, where we're talking about the 9th of November, also known as the 10th of September, as in that day which got buried in the news cycle for whatever reason. The inconvenient things, what happened on the 10th of September got forgotten about. And I'm sure there's plenty of news on the 10th of September, but one of the big things, oh man, I really want to get into this content.
Let's get stuck into some unexplained history, shall we?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Oumuamua is?
That sounds made up, so no.
I don't know. Uvavu. We'll call it Uvavu.
Umbongo.
Because there's too many U's and M's and A's and U's in it, and it gets confusing. A cigar-shaped interstellar visitor has remained a topic of heated debate among scientists for several years. Measuring up to 400 metres in length, Onga Bongo...
I know how to pronounce that.
What?
It's Death by Mau Mau. That's how to pronounce it.
So it gained worldwide attention back in October 2017 after scientists determined that it was the first confirmed visitor from a distant solar system. Since then, several theories have been put forward to explain exactly what type of object. Oh fuck! What's that drink called? Ongo Bongo.
Umbongo.
Umbongo. Umbongo might be including a comet and I'll keep changing it. It might be amusing. an asteroid, a hydrogen iceberg, and even an alien vessel. Scientists, however, have struggled to agree upon a single answer. Normally, don't they normally just have one head scientist says, that's what it is. Everybody, that's what it is, even though it may not be.
Yeah,
like they do with climate science
and vaccines and the 5G. So I'm looking at this and I'm trying to remember what the name of it is, but there was an asteroid which was observed coming into our solar system, and then it appeared to move on a vector which you wouldn't expect from slingshots, and it's understood pretty well now how like a slingshot, a piece of rock will fall towards the sun and then swing out, and it did not behave in that way.
Iron Duke says Ikabuga never did nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And this death by Mau Mau asteroid did nothing either.
Yeah.
This asteroid was unusual in the fact that a lot of people are saying, well, the only way it could have done that is if it had its own engine to propel it somehow. And I thought to myself, if I was going to make an alien space probe to visit other planets, I think the best thing I could do is make it look and behave like an asteroid.
At least we've got another fake reason. So it's a cosmic dust bunny. It's not an alien spaceship. It's a cosmic dust bunny.
Yeah, or it's just an unusual cigar-shaped asteroid. I mean, there's no. It's just a cigar-shaped asteroid. It's definitely not somebody making like a ship hull to look like an asteroid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those. It's one of the things like, hey, here's some interesting space news. No, here's somebody to shit all over it.
It's some interesting space news. No, it's not.
No. Oh, speaking of some interesting space news, no, it's not. Musk, good chance first Mars settlers will die.
Oh, based.
In agony. Slowly? Will they die of boredom because all they're going to eat is blue-green algae?
Yeah.
I was working on Musk.
Or poo. Is it, what's that Matt Damon thing? Is it poo mushrooms or is it poo potatoes?
They're going to eat poo mushrooms, poo potatoes, and blue-green algae. They're going to... The first colonizers of Mars are going to be vegan. Yeah.
Based.
This week, Starship SN6, a prototype version of the ambitious spacecraft that Musk's hopes will one day carry the first colonists to Mars, completed a successful test flight which involved hopping approximately 150 meters from one pad to another at SpaceX Boca Chica facility. That's a dumb name. I'm going to rename that to Bognor Regis. The flight was an improvement over the previous SN5 test flight, which took place just weeks before. It's certainly no secret Musk has some seriously ambitious plans for the future that involve not just landing humans on Mars, but building up an entire colony living independently of the Earth. Even he, however, admits that such a feat would be very difficult and very dangerous. Getting to Mars, I think... Oh, hang on. Let's do a voice for him. Getting to Mars, I think, is not a fundamental issue, he said via CNBC. The fundamental issue is building a society on Mars that is self-sustaining. Wagwan. We are going to build a propellant plant, an initial Mars base Alpha, that's an imaginative name, and then get it to the point where it is self-sustaining. I want to emphasize this is a very hard and dangerous, difficult thing. If not for the faint of heart, good chance you'll die. It's going to be tough going, but it'll be pretty glorious if it all works out. The timetable for the first manned mission to Mars still remains up in the air, with the date having already been pushed back considerably and with no clear target set at the present time. Still, given Musk's past successes in the space sector, it is not outside the realms of possibility that he will eventually succeed in ushering humanity on its next major step towards the stars. Woo!
Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
Yep, that's it.
So,
you know it.
New species of prehistoric fossil ape unearthed.
Is it saying give us reparations.
Yeah, it was unearthed in a fossilised Wendy's car park. Paleontologists have discovered what is thought to be the earliest known ancestor of the modern-day gibbon. Unearthed in northern India, the fossil a lower molar. Oh, so they've just got a tooth, and they've guessed them.
We got this.
I suppose they could do with DNA, though, can't they?
We got a tooth. Yeah, here's like the creature which would have such a tooth.
But I'll skip the rest of it. Just like the headline is, even if from now we only have one tooth and thus need to be cautious, this is a unique discovery. It pushes back the oldest known fossil record of gibbons by at least 5 million years, proving that all scientists are just making it up as they go along. Oh no, providing a much needed glimpse into the early stages of their evolutionary history.
Oh hey, Domino Mogul says potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah.
Oh, Iron Duke says check out The Sky at Night by Sir Patrick Moore. I really like Patrick Moore, and he was a very interesting chap. Which, if ever we do,
xylophone player, weren't he?
He liked his xylophone. He liked his British Union of Fascists. He was.
Was he a BUF member then? Was he?
Yeah, he was also. I think he did a prototype UKIP party because BUF kind of got, for some reason,
BUF weren't far right enough for him.
Yeah, so he made a nationalist party, and yeah, he's a good guy. I think he was kind of grandfathered in because most of the BBC couldn't stand him, and they just put his show on later and later, and eventually got him replaced with the Nooga Booga bitch. But I'm looking here at
Helen's. No, I was thinking of that.
Oh, whatever, you know. She's just somebody who got there because they need to fill up a quota, and it's like, let's replace her with somebody that Patrick Moore would be disgusted with.
Do you remember this one we did the other week about Forrest Fenn, who famously hid a cache of valuables in the Rocky Mountains?
Oh yeah,
yeah, he died.
Yeah. Oh well, never mind.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can still claim the winnings or not.
Speaking of treasure hunt, have you seen this article here? Real life Willy Wonka.
Bit of a. Ultimately, though, just a few months before Fenn himself passed away, the treasure was found. That's kind of weird, isn't it? It was under a canopy of stars in the lush forested red vegetation of the Rocky Mountains and had not moved from the spot where I hid it more than 10 years ago, he said. The man who found it reportedly didn't want his identity revealed, but had proved to Fenn that he had indeed claimed the prize by sending him a photograph of the treasure. So that dude's won 3 million.
Is your dog trying to give us clues about the whereabouts of the treasure? Because have you let him know that it's been found so he can relax?
Gobby. I think he's still looking for it. So we can do the real life Willy Wonka. Let's hope let's hope it's not the Tim Burton version of Willy Wonka, where Willy Wonka looked a little bit of a.
The only one I saw was the one with Gene Wilder in it. So
yeah, don't watch the other one because Willy Wonka is actually quite disturbing in that one, and I don't think he'd leave any kids with him. No,
you wouldn't. The founder of Jelly Belly Jelly Beans is offering up the keys to an actual candy factory to one lucky winner. In Roald Dahl's classic children's book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Go and shout at the dog.
Yes, a young boy finds a golden ticket in the bar of chocolate and ends up winning eccentric chocolatier Willy Wonka's entire factory. It's like, hey, do you have any experience managing business? No, you don't. Well, here's your reward. Now, someone in the real world will have the opportunity to do the same, albeit with a few differences. Self-proclaimed real-life candy man David Klein, who is the founder of Jelly Belly Jelly Beans. I don't know if you've had them, chat, but they are the most bland pieces of sugar and gelatin I've ever consumed.
Oh, just really got a couple of. I quite like Jelly Bellies, except for the like weird, but they do some weird flavours, don't they?
I'd rather have Jelly Babies. Those
Jelly Babies are a bit too much for me. I can't eat more than about 3 at a sitting. There's something about them that makes me want to puke.
Really?
Yeah,
I used to like it when. I like the ones which.
Got a couple Domina Morgul says this is a South Park reference, Hobbit. Hemi's dog have got such a clue right now. I've got a raging clue. What dog have you got? I've got a Staffy, you know. And that's that.
So
train him up in the garden to bark all night. Do you remember that one? Is that Harry Enfield, weren't it? Have you seen the dog out? Yeah, I've trained him up outside so he'll bark all night.
I was just thinking of Harry Enfield. There's this sketch he's done in Harry and Paul about the germaphobe couple and the germaphobe dad, and they won't like go 2 minutes without like pumping out some sanitizer and rubbing it on their hands, and I just thought, yeah, that was ahead of its time. So here we go. This self-proclaimed real-life Candyman, David Klein, who is the founder of Jelly Belly Jelly Beans, is planning a real-life treasure hunt involving golden tickets in the form of gold necklaces, and the chance to win the keys to an actual candy factory, though not one associated with Jelly Belly. Unlike in the book, however,
this particular giving someone else's keys away. Is that what? So you can break into the competitors and steal all the stock. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's just like it's your chance to, you could be one of the lucky contestants that can break and enter into this factory, and you can steal as many sweeties as you like.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of which, just before I go into the rest of the story, there was did you ever watch Tarrant on TV? It was this thing that had before YouTube.
Yeah.
It did this review of a Russian game show, and this was like late 90s
Do you remember the
stuff.
predecessor, Clive? What was his name? Clive
Anderson, the solicitor.
No, not Clive Anderson. The Australian Clive. Oh fuck.
No. Clive Bruce Clive.
He used to do that. Do you remember there was there was a Japanese show called Endurance, and he used to show clips.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I think that's the one where they've got like 2 girls. They got like this cockroach in the tube, and they're trying to blow it in each other's mouth.
And that's the sort of stuff they did on it, but like some of it was even worse than that.
Well, I know. It's like I watched Fort Boyard recently, and it was like Fear Factor. It's just taking away the games of skill and endurance, and it's just like, crawl through these bugs and broken glass.
Clive James. It used to be Clive James on TV. Used to be on a Sunday night. I think that used to be on like after Spitting Image, so it was like really late. That was, but he used to do some really funny stuff on there.
Yeah. So the thing is, this game show I saw in Russia was like, you have to steal a car and you have to evade the police for half an hour, and if you win, you get the car. I'm not sure how that works, but if you lose, you get arrested and actually sent to prison for theft of a car. It was one of those shows that existed before Putin came to power. Sort of stuff Boris Yeltsin would just let happen in his country. So anyway, the first round of the hunt will see participants be given a riddle that would need to solve.
Used to talk about it as well, Endurance. Japanese TV program from the 80s. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia.
So they will need to solve a riddle and be the first to track down the gold necklace in their particular state and win $5,000. Anyone who participates will then have the chance to go for the ultimate prize of a candy factory. With the gold ticket treasure hunt...
Unrelated.
With the gold ticket... What?
That's what it says. That's because it says in the article, doesn't it? Keys to an actual candy factory, though not one associated with Jelly Belly, which I think is really weird.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to give you the keys to a factory. Not my factory, but...
somebody else's.
Yeah, some factory I have no claim over.
Somebody else's factory. Not mine, somebody else's factory.
Yeah. With the gold ticket treasure hunt, our goal is to get people out and about with their families. Oh, I thought that wasn't allowed anymore, said Klein. Grandma and Grandpa can even join with the kids and grandkids. Take videos of your treasure hunt experiences for possible inclusion in our upcoming series. Without Oompa Loompas run by a factory, however, it's unclear exactly what responsibilities take position of the grand prize will actually entail. To me, this just sounds like the only person benefiting from this is David Klein with this television series and his $50 tickets.
David Klein? That's an awful...
David Klein.
That's an awfully familiar surname.
Yeah. How small is his hat, what he wears?
Yeah. Interesting.
Shall we do some content then?
I don't know, I thought we'd talk about... There's a story later on that I want to do. Results of ET Techno-Signatures survey revealed. Are you interested?
Yeah, okay, do that.
Sadly, however, despite surveying over 10 million stars, they found no sign of ET whatsoever. So that'll do that story. No point reading out a whole story just to do that. They found a load more coffins in Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
Archaeologists have discovered 13 ancient Egyptian coffins that have remained untouched since antiquity. No, I think there's a point they should just kind of stop fucking... They leave these people alone. They're dead. Let them rest in peace, eh? This is one of the ones I wanted to do. Plague victim burials hint at zombie fears. New research suggests that some victims of the plague were buried face down to stop them rising from the dead. Over the last few centuries, several burials across Central Europe have been discovered exhibiting an unusual phenomenon. The bodies have been buried face down rather than face up. It's believed that this practice was originally designed to show mankind's humility to God. However, when the Black Death ravaged Europe, beliefs and attitudes towards the dead started to change. Also, apparently the Gurkhas did it during the Falklands War, didn't they?
No, I didn't know that.
Buried half dead Argies face down, so when they try and dig their way out, they dig down rather than up.
Oh, that's weird.
That's pretty grim, isn't it?
That's brutal. I mean, can't you just like put them out of their misery?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, people keep saying like, oh, maybe the Gurkhas should be allowed here. I'm just like, nah, they're just another violent savage. Maybe they can go and live in Spain with all the other expats.
Yeah. The practice has been observed in Germany, Switzerland and Austria, dated back as recently as the 17th century, suggesting such fears endured for centuries after the plague was at its worst. Man spends over 2 hours up to his neck in ice.
Oh, I saw 2 giant snakes crash through man's ceiling.
Oh, we did that last week. Do you remember?
No. What happened last week? What were we even talking about last week? My memory's terrible.
Don't ask me difficult questions. Oh, we had the girls on last week, didn't we? Girls and ghosts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Is one. Do we do about miniature Stonehenge AIDS acoustical study?
Do that in a sec. I'm just going to finish this one off. For So this dude, he's Austrian, Joseph Kobel.
I'm wrong, Hemi. By the way, Iron Duke says that the Gurkhas are cool.
Yeah,
it's like, but a bit savage,
Yeah.
What's wrong with just like bayoneting them?
He remained in the tank for 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 57 seconds. So how do they do that then? Because surely that's dangerous, isn't it?
Well, the thing is that should cause him to die of hypothermia, yet for whatever reason it hasn't. So something is going on there. I don't know what.
So Stonehenge has got AIDS now, is it? Is it a bit too many hippies down there?
It's got hearing aids.
Oh, it's got hearing aids.
Yeah. Well, this miniature Stonehenge AIDS acoustical society. For thousands of years, Stonehenge... Oh, wait a minute. Back when the entire monument was intact, Stonehenge had some seriously impressive acoustics. Whoa. For thousands of years, Stonehenge has dominated the Wiltshire countryside. Yet there remains much we still don't know, especially with regard to what it was like during its prime. In a renewed effort to determine what standing in the centre of the fully completed stone circle, what it sounded like when it was newly built. Researchers in the UK have conducted a new study involving the creation of a miniature model Stonehenge. A creation not dissimilar to the tiny model Stonehenge that comically appeared in the spoof movie This Is Spinal Tap. To create it, the researchers used laser scan data and 3D printing technology. Why can't they use like concrete casting? Why does it always have to be 3D printing? One of the 1/12 scale model.
Would it still work to scale though? Would you have to change the pitch of the notes though if you did a scale?
Well, I imagine it's like if you're going to build a 1/12 scale model of a cathedral, it's just like, okay, you've made it, well done, and
yeah, but I mean, wouldn't the size of the whatever affect the
yeah, it will do,
acoustics?
Yeah, because you've got a different resonant chamber. It's a smaller resonant chamber.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you wouldn't do it on a model, then, would you?
Well, I mean, the model gives you some indication of what the full-size one would be. Once the 1/12 scale model was complete, they tested its acoustical properties using a series of speakers and microphones which played and recorded various audio samples. The findings suggest that while Stonehenge was unlikely to have been constructed with acoustics in mind, the monument would have nonetheless provided quite significant enhancement of any voice or music within it, a bit like the reverberation found in modern music.
I watched a whole program where they studied it, and they said the sound within is different from the sound without.
Problem is whenever I've been within it,
fuck scientists. That's what.
The problem is whenever
if you ever speak to a scientist, tell them they're a charlatan. They're just fucking charlatans, aren't they?
It's just like so. In other words, you're a con man. It's like no, I'm a real scientist. I do hard work.
In other words, you just fucking make it up as you go along. You cunt. Don't fucking talk.
So it's as a scientist,
this whole thing I watched was that it was some sort of weird amphitheatre vibe, where if you were in Stonehenge and speaking within it, you couldn't hear people outside it. It was like a weird thing like that. Was what there was. So literally, like, one scientist says one thing, then another one says the complete opposite.
Well, I mean, so in other words, scientists are grifters, where they scam grant money, and the best scientists are the best con man.
Yeah, that's
so. In other words, you remember
that BBC show? Precisely what I'm going to say about scientists.
So you know there was that BBC show called Hustle.
Yeah.
Where they're like a bunch of grifters and they're doing a con. Really, what they should have done is just don lab coats and just when sermons are opening up, it's just like, just put a lab coat on and
just make shit up, and then they can even then they can do it perfectly legally then, and they wouldn't even have to break the law.
Yeah, it's just it's like we're doing the ultimate grift. We're going to get millions of euros for convincing them we got like cold fusion technology or something.
Can we start the meme? I fucking hate science.
I really am getting to that stage now because science these days is absolute. It's propaganda for a start.
Yeah.
But so anyway, Stonehenge has got interesting acoustics, and I can't tell you myself because any time I've been inside Stonehenge, it's been surrounded by hippies who think it's a good idea to get on the stones and jump up and down.
Yeah.
And you tell them to get off, and they're just like, "No, be man, we're having fun." It's like, yeah. People thousands of years from now would like to have fun. What do I care about them, man? So aren't we all one race, the human race, and therefore what you're saying is fuck yourself?
Yeah.
Hey, stop hashing my buzz. So yeah.
So what do you think Stonehenge, and what do you think the henges are?
Well, I liked it. I don't know what it's for. I mean, you can observe certain things that happen in the winter and summer solstices there, where the sun goes through different bits of it.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I don't know. One of the things I will say about these is why do all these sites have to have a road go through them? Why can't they just have a road go to the side so that sites remain undamaged? Because like every single stone circle I can think of, I mean, Stonehenge is the exception. They don't have a road go through it, but they've got a road right next to it.
One go under, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, well, these people must understand ley lines then, and they understand that if you put roads in,
don't they?
yeah, they want to put like roads underneath is Big Stonehenge because it's a UNESCO site, so they can't build a road on it.
Yeah.
But Rollright, Avebury, they've got roads going through them. And also, fuck the pub in the middle of Avebury with its rainbow flags and save the NHS and all
Stephen
that.
J. James got an interesting point. He said Stonehenge sort of shits all over the idea there was no civilization until the Roman Empire rolled across Europe and tamed the savages.
Well, it's wow. The thing is, was that civilization or was it giants what built it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
No. I know that what really happened because I was at Stonehenge and there was a Yank there, and he said that the stones were taken there by truck from Wales.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
He also explained to his kid that his kid shouldn't have bought a banana. He should have bought something healthy like a burger.
Well, he's right. Burger's healthier than a banana. I'd rather eat a burger than a banana.
Less sugar.
Oh, I wouldn't get heartburn from a burger. I would from a banana.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering who it was that told me that story.
That's me. Do you want to do the case of the mystery body reopened 41 years on? Experts are attempting to solve the mystery of an unidentified man who washed up on the Isles of Scilly. So if experts are doing it, well, we're fucked then, aren't we? We ain't going to find out, are we? February 21st, 1979, the body of an unknown individual washed up on Porthminnock Beach. He was estimated between 40-60 years old, had dark brown hair that was starting to go grey. He was 5'4" and wore a blue and white shirt along with a woolen L-Tex vest. The only clue to his identity was a wedding ring that bore the inscription Giorgio and Katrina 1956. Despite the best efforts of local authorities, the man remained a total mystery, and the case would end up going cold for more than 4 decades. Now, however, a team of experts, including criminologists, police officers, academics, and students, has reopened the case in as part of a new endeavour known as the Locate Centre for Missing People Investigations. They need to move those letters around so it spells something. That'd be much better, wouldn't it?
They do.
Which aims to help families track down their lost loved ones. Well, obviously, his family have no lost loved ones because they weren't that bothered. The mystery of the man found on the beach on the Scilly Isles has stumped investigators for more than 4 decades. But we're hoping that modern ways of communication, including through social media, might bring renewed hope that the conundrum that could now be solved. Determining who the man is, however, will undoubtedly... So actually, it's got nothing to do with finding out who the man is, this story. It's about shilling for a new organisation that obviously want funding. God damn journalists. God damn them all.
Well, there's 2 stories which involve roads which are a bit better. One of them I've sent you a link to, so maybe you could play the video. I don't think he even needs saying much. It's in Falmouth, and it's some footage
I was just
of
about to open that story.
Yeah.
Is there a video then? So.
Yeah. There's a
really
video.
Trust videos because they can be messed around with, can't they?
Yeah, they can.
So
but
read
show
the bit
video to your...
read the thing, then I'll show the clip.
I don't want to read it. It's just like, suffice to say, something spooky was seen on the road in Falmouth. Play the clip.
In America, in Maine.
Oh, that Falmouth. All right.
Yeah. Oh, nice bit of rock tunage there. I'll play the audio for you a bit. Ooh, that is creepy.
There is a stone that looks scary, the Kingstone or something. I've been to the Kingstone. The thing I'll say about the Kingstone is you look at it from a certain angle and it's like it curves around a bit like a strand of DNA, but...
Just showing it once more. Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Shadow.
River 7 says, the story is the witch turned an old king and his knights to stone, I think. There's a dolmen about half a mile from it? Not half a mile, a bit less than half a mile from the stone circle, and it's called the Whispering Knights.
So I've got a question for you, Hobbit. How long has SETI been going on now?
It's a good question. Since the 70s, I think.
Right, so Finding E.T., do aliens even use radio signals?
Oh, yeah.
50 years later, do aliens even use radio signals? God damn,
No.
fuck scientists, fuck them, really.
Is it almost a case of just like, well, we got all this money involved in it, and we had the SETI at Home project analysing all this data, but you know what, maybe now it's time to wind down the project because we don't have money.
It's just literally like, oh, we've been doing this 50 years. LOL, do they even use radio? Do they use Bluetooth or something instead? I thought they used Wi-Fi. I thought Wi-Fi was given to us by aliens, weren't it, Hobbit?
I don't know about that, but my dad's convinced that lasers and LEDs, LEDs and sorry, not LEDs, because even the very first diodes gave off light. Lasers and try and not drop this thing. Lasers and triangles. No, what's that component that has 3 poles? Transistors are alien technology, and he reckons it's because, well, a transistor-based amplifier doesn't sound right, whereas a valve amp does. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you got a point there, but it could just be something in the transistor.
Wants to know, have you been to New Grange?
No, I've never even been to Ireland. I mean, I hear it's full of Irish.
Is it an Irish circle, then, is it?
But there's a number of dolmens, and there's quite a few sites near Newgrange which are all around there. They're quite interesting, those ones. No, haven't been there. I wanted to go and visit the Carnac Stones, but apparently it's quite a popular tourist area of France, and so hotels and such are expensive.
I thought Carnac was in
northern France.
No,
Brittany.
I thought Karnak was in Egypt.
Oh, the Temple of Karnak, but there's also Carnac Stones in France. And the Carnac Stones are the largest stone circle in the world. Yeah. The ones who get sent to do driver training get special.
A couple up there. Silius Sodus says, a mate of mine who was in the Royal Scots Borders service some Gurkhas, he said they were fearless but just mongs, basically. And then you read the one that you're reading now, and then the other one makes sense.
Oh, they get special training because, yes, they are all mongs. And it's like, it just reminds me of the chaplain in Dawn of War saying, "Blessed is the mind too small for doubt."
I think we're up with all of Unexplained Mysteries.
Well, there is one brief one I wanted to say here, and this was a genuinely interesting story. So it's revisited, the mystery of the A3 ghost crash. I'm going to give, so if you want to just, you can have a look at it there. So it says, a chance sighting of a car accident by a member of the public spawned an urban legend that endures to this day. Britain's roads and motorways are certainly no stranger to tales of the unexplained, with stories of phantom hitchhikers and tormented apparitions being commonplace among some stretches of road. Oh, speaking of some unexplained mysteries, the bog roll in the downstairs toilet here, like, it's been put on, and like a day later, there's just like a few sheets left.
Is that a vegan guy living in your attic or something, Hobbit?
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder, the lentils are going missing. So, one of the most peculiar such sightings occurred on December the 11th, 2000. No, the 11th of December 2002, when a member of the public called the police to report a car accident. I will be talking about how the Americans are wrong with putting the month before the day later. A member of the public called the police to report a car accident. A vehicle had been seen losing control and leaving the road on the A3 near the emergency slip road at Burpham.
Burpham, that's a good name.
Where do you live? Burpham. Oh, okay, yeah. My aunt used to live there, but then she moved to Shitterton. Or was it Crapstone?
Or Bell
When police arrived at the... Yeah. When police arrived at the scene, they were initially unable to find any sign of a crash. However, it didn't take them long to discover a Vauxhall Astra in the ditch nearby, obscured by the undergrowth. Disturbingly, the remains of the driver were also found at the scene. What made the tragic discovery... Hang on, I need to reread that sentence. Disturbingly, the remains of the driver were also discovered at the scene. Whoa, now it's dramatic. What made the tragic discovery all the stranger, however, was the fact that the car and the victim had seemingly been lying there undiscovered for over 5 months. The deceased turned out to be a man wanted for a robbery that had taken place in July of that year. So the crash had occurred 5 months before. How did the witness see the car leaving the road? Could they have witnessed a ghostly replay of the accident? To this day, no definitive explanation has ever been found. Or at least it's a story with a happy ending.
He was a wrong one anyway.
Did a burglary, got done for it, instant justice.
That's what they call karma.
Yeah, that's the Hindu justice system is karma. So yeah, bombings and such. They're great. I mean, governments love them, terrorists love them, media loves them. Who doesn't like a good bombing? I'll tell you right now, this year would be a lot more interesting if there were some bombings.
I'd say the victims of it don't like it too much.
Nah, but as we all know, those victims aren't real. They're just holograms. Yeah. They're holograms, they're shape-changing reptilians. They're definitely not real.
Just bunnies.
I am definitely not being sarcastic here. This is 100% serious. You can tell by the serious tone of my serious voice. Yeah.
Stephen J. James has got a fucking cool laser. A custom-built 3 watts. He doesn't mean 3 watts, he mean 3 megawatts or something.
It's a 3-watt laser.
Okay. Blue, built by this German guy on laserforums.com, who makes the best shit for 350 quid.
I imagine that's the sort of stuff you could burst balloons and light matches with.
Based. I was thinking of buying one of those. Do they actually work?
Well, anything above, you can get 1-watt green lasers, and they can cause blindness.
Oh yeah.
As the police in Portland are finding out.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're not actually shooting the protesters with.
Yeah, Forza says our blind delivery drivers were fine. Yeah. I'm just I'm thinking like there's this isn't related, but it probably will be related. I'll find a way of bringing it into the tangent somehow. But there's these police in Portland, and they're told they're not allowed to use tear gas, tasers, rubber bullets, or concussion grenades. Are they allowed to use harsh language, or is that off the table as well?
Or no, because that could trigger somebody.
Someone, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you use harsh language, depending on what the harsh language is, you could be suspended without pay. So, harsh language is definitely off the table, mate.
It sets stuff on fire from across the yard. Oof.
There you go. Yeah, it's you got yourself a nice and dangerous firelighter there.
Oh, it's laserpointerforums.com. He meant to say.
Yes, I'm sure that's legal.
Are we sponsored this week by laserpointerforums.com?
Well, I was going to say we're sponsored this week by Patriotic Alternative. It's Terrific.
Terrific. Mummy Towlers tea. Didn't we have an idea for a Mummy Towlers project? I can't remember what it was.
What's it? Is she actually making tea, or are we just memeing that?
Well, no, she's making tea. She's had the samples. Apparently.
All right. Well, I'm saying I'm sponsored by.
I'm still streaming to Periscope, but no one knows where it's popping out.
And I haven't seen it, so I'm just. I want to say that I'm brought to you today by Mark Collett's Rich Tea Biscuits and extra mature cheddar cheese. So yeah, we need to sort of about those Portland police. They're not allowed to use all of the things I mentioned. However, there's no exclusion on them using like actual bullets fired from guns. So maybe that's how they will de-escalate the rioting situation. We shall see. But yeah, a load of fun stuff happened. One of those things that happened is the Americans doing this meme to try and get us to say the month before the day, when they'll go September 11th, never forget. The Twin Towers, don't forget those. Building 7, forget that one though. But the thing is, before that day, on the 10th of September 2001, some interesting things happened. The interesting thing mostly being about, what's his name? Rumsfeld. Donald Rumsfeld.
Especially Rumsfeld, I think it is.
Yep, so I've got used to a website. I'll post that because I'm going to be reading bits from this. And it says, recall Donald Rumsfeld chose the date of the 10th of September 2001 to announce that a Pentagon audit ordered by Undersecretary Don Sackheim and conducted by a Halliburton subsidiary. Halliburton was a good, reputable company, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody had anything...
Very busy too.
Yeah, I remember I was applying to work
for... first people to get a contract after the fall of Iraq.
Yeah, I was going to say... I applied to work for Halliburton, but that didn't come through, so I ended up working for Mossad instead. Or is it GCHQ? I can't remember. It's conducted by a Halliburton subsidiary, had discovered that the Defense Department can no longer account for $2.3 trillion in the past transactions.
They're just good at business. What more can I say?
Yeah, what can you buy with $2.3 trillion? Can you buy a lifetime supply of bog roll with $2.3 trillion? Could you make a house out of bog roll for $2.3 trillion?
Probably could, and then knock it down.
Could you buy an entire country and then bury it in bog roll for $2.3 trillion? But anyway, $2.3 trillion. So this matter was presented by CBS as a question of waste and incompetence, that it was possible to lose $2.3 trillion under a couch somewhere. It had only been covered by PBS in February 2001. Interestingly, the Bush administration did not seek to place any blame on the Clinton administration for the missing assets, which would prompt questions about how much of the shortfall was invented in the course of the audit itself. One day after Rumsfeld's admission of the 10th of September, the mother of all scandals in the making disappeared from the corporate media's vision for good. Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, where else do you know where you got like a government budget and it's like, oh yeah, we can't account for $2.3 trillion. Must be around here somewhere. Let me see. So the thing is, I could go on reading about that, and I could read about PNAC, which is the Project for a New American Centuries, rebuilding America's defenses. I could read it, but suffice to say, the day after the 10th of September, something happened, and it happened completely how they did. And as we know now, the most durable material known to man is not diamond, it's not graphene lattices, it is in fact Saudi Arabian passports, which is why I'm making a bulletproof vest out of the Saudi Arabian passports.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're pretty hardy, they are, aren't they?
Nothing is as sturdy. Well, the only thing which is as sturdy as a Saudi Arabian passport is the Pentagon's lawn, because this plane, which we're told crashed into it, we don't know what crashed into it, because all the footage has been seized as a matter of national US security. The lawn, no scorch marks, no furrowed ground, no nothing. And I'm just like, my God, I so much as look at my lawn and the grass starts to go muddy. I mean, what amazing like secret military technology have they got on their Pentagon lawn, which can make it indestructible? Where you got this plane that's like punched through multiple layers of reinforced concrete, conveniently destroying all the accounting information in the Pentagon, Whoopsie-doopsie. Oh, that was a bit of an unfortunate thing. Of all the places this object could have struck the Pentagon, it just happened to be in the auditing department where all this evidence about the 2.3 trillion missing dollars went. Oh, well, never mind. I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Oh, and also,
but, yeah.
The Enron files were in...
Building 7.
Yeah.
Which we're going to get onto in a bit. I mean, we're not going to do an entire episode about the events of that day, because the thing is, there's other bombings which happened as well, and similar things happened with them. Now, the fact is, there was accounting information in Building 7 about Enron, which was lost as well. So it's just a bit of convenience, a bit of interesting stuff.
No,
and then, of course, you got
things happen, don't they?
Yeah, and then of course you got what's his name, Larry Silverstein, trying to make 2 insurance claims for the 2 buildings which were struck by planes.
Well, it's just paper. It's just.
Yeah, because I mean, it's 2 separate incidents, right? It's you can claim twice.
I've been watching I've been watching a lot of. Do you ever watch Screen Rant, where he does the pitch meetings for movies? It's the the bit where he goes, I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back on this one.
Yeah, and the fact that Larry Silverstein was trying to claim twice on this insurance, I mean, an insurance policy which he took out a couple of weeks prior, because, wow, I mean, he just was a very prudent, shrewd businessman. It was good for you.
I've figured out why. I've figured out why Periscope's not working. The maximum allowed bitrate is 160 kilobytes per second.
Oh, that's a bit shit, isn't it? I mean, that's the sort of bit rate you see in those Coontown videos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that I've just found out why it's not working.
And also, don't you have to have it like portrait mode as well to show how incompetent you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I won't be restreaming to Periscope because it's this guy.
No, suffice to say, just like the YouTube link is on Twitter for those that don't know about it already. But yeah, so that was an interesting thing, and then a massive Patriot Act got done, which the boomers at the time were saying, "Oh, this is just like Hitler's Enabling Act, because there was a Reichstag fire, and then he had an Enabling Act, and then he became Chancellor for life." No comment. But the thing is, after that time, shortly afterwards, in 2002, the one which people forget about is the Bali bombings. Do you remember, like, there was bombings in Bali, this place in Indonesia?
Yeah. I remember the Bali bombing. That preceded it, didn't it?
2002. So the thing is like, people, it's a popular tourist destination, especially for Australians. And I suppose the Australians just felt like, yeah, we haven't got anything to do with those Yanks. Then the Bali bombings happened, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess we have got something to do with this as well. Yeah, we too need to do the things like put microwave scanners in our airports and ask people to take off their shoes and have their balls grabbed by some fat, obese black man. Because that's you're just checking for terrorism, right? That's why you need to squeeze my testicles. Yeah. So at 23:05 Central Indonesian time, so that's 11 to you and I, on the 12th of October 2002, a suicide bomber inside the nightclub Paddy's Pub, sometimes referred to as Paddy's Irish Bar, detonated a bomb in his backpack, causing many patrons, with or without injuries, to immediately flee into the street. 20 seconds later, a second and much more powerful car bomb hidden inside a white Mitsubishi van was detonated by another suicide bomb outside the Sand Club, a renowned open-air thatch roof bar located opposite Paddy's Pub. The bombing occurred during one of the busiest tourist periods of the year in Kuta Beach, driven in part by many Australian sporting teams making their annual end-of-season holiday. The 2 local Sangala Hospital was ill-equipped to deal with the scale of the disaster, was overwhelmed with the number of injured, particularly burn victims. There's so many people injured by the explosion that some of the injured had to be placed in hotel pools near the explosion site to ease the pain of their burns. Oh, chlorine pool water on that's not going to be good. Many of the injured were forced to be flown extreme distances to Darwin, which was 1,800 kilometres or 1,100 miles away, and Perth, which is 1,600 miles away, to specialist burn treatment. A comparatively small bomb detonated outside the US consulate in Denpasar, which was thought to have exploded shortly. The two Kuta bombs caused minor injuries to one person and property damage was minimal. It was reportedly packed with human excrement. Oh, lovely. A report released in August 2005.
That'll be to infect people.
Yeah. A report released in August 2005 by United States Engineers.
Apparently that's what they did in Vietnam, weren't it? You know the punji sticks are, Hobbit.
Oh, like spike picks covered in shit.
Yeah, they covered them in shit, didn't they, to increase the.
So the investigators were thus able to recreate the bombers' activities, and Rosie, Idris, and Al Imran simply walked into a dealership and purchased a new Yamaha motorbike. Asking how much they could resell it for, they returned in a few days. Imran used the motorbike to place the small bomb outside the US consulate. Idris then rode the motorbike as Imran drove two suicide bombers in the Mitsubishi to the nightclub district in Kuta. He stopped near a sand club, instructed one suicide bomber to put on his explosives vest, and the other to arm the vehicle bomb. The first bomber headed to Paddy's pub. Idris then led the second bomber, who had only learned to drive in a straight line, to drive the van a short distance to the sand club. Idris picked up Imran on the Yamaha, and the duo headed back into Denpasar. Idris dialed the number of the Nokia to detonate the bomb at the consulate. The two suicide bombers exploded their devices. Imran and Idris dropped the motorbike at a place where it eventually attracted the attention of the caretaker. So that was a death toll of 202, 88 Australians, 23 United Kingdom, 7 from United States, and a bunch of other people from countries that don't matter. So yeah, that was the thing. What was the was there any what's the word I'm looking for here?
Was the first, if I remember rightly, that was the first mention. As they say in comic circles, it was first appearance Al Qaeda. as they'd say in comic circles. That's the first. I think, as far as I know, it's one of the first mentions of Al Qaeda.
Or the database.
I may be wrong, but it's the first time I remember it being mentioned on the news.
Yeah, because I think they just said with Osama bin Laden was Taliban, and it's like, I mean, that was a weird thing. It was just like, oh yeah, we had to have a bunch of troops like already stationed in Pakistan near the Afghan border, just for like purely coincidental. And then when this thing happened, it's like, oh yeah, we definitely know it's Osama bin Laden, and don't ask us why we flew out the bin Laden family from the US when all other flights were grounded, but this flight was allowed.
The first I knew of stuff like that this is like, I was like a bit of a what's his name? That fat fucking idiot Moore. What's his name? The one who did bowling for Columbine.
Oh, Michael Moore.
Michael Moore, yes. Because I read his book. I can't remember which one it was.
Fahrenheit 9/11?
No, it was before that. It was
Stupid White Men?
I think it was just Stupid White Men, was it? I think
it might have been called Stupid White Men.
There's quite a lot about that in that, if I remember rightly. It's been a long while since I read that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, there was a number of things. It's just like instantly after 9/11, it's like, oh yeah, Osama bin Laden's definitely behind it. We need to arrest this man. So you go into a country, you invade it, you haven't left, even though Osama bin Laden was declared killed, 7 years ago or something, I forget when.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you're right, so, you know, you said you were going in there to arrest one man, and now you're fighting a war and you're still there.
Oh my God. Talking of conspiracy theories, have you read the chat? Stephen J. James said... further up than that. Claire Core says there is a very real chance that Trump will pass the Enabling Act and institute secular Quranism in his next term.
Yeah, sure, okay. Claire Core eats cats.
Yeah.
That's what chat is saying.
Crazy cat eating lady.
What's wrong with eating dogs? Is dog not enough for you? You've got to eat cats as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there was a lot of Australians died. A lot of Australians wanted to kill every single last Indonesian man, woman, child, which is a reasonable response.
Do you think that was the first brick in? Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Do you think this is that was the first brick in kind of discrediting Islam?
I don't know really, because I mean Salman Rushdie came before with the satanic verses, and I suppose that's critical of Islam as they put a fatwa on his head.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we got a memorial in London. There's a big granite bull next to a list of dead. So you got that.
Hello Saw says Trump will pass the cat eating bill of 2021.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no! Yeah. Apparently, Claire Core said she's gone celibate to channel her sexual energy into enlightening the masses. I think.
So yeah, bombing.
There's a lot of Claire Core talk, hot and heavy Claire Core talk tonight.
Yeah, I know. She reared her head again, or anyway. I don't want this to distract me from my important task.
I think Iron Duke's probably right. Whoever gave Islam any credit, I don't think turn it into the enemy. Basically,
unfortunately, Prince Charles gave it a lot of credit. He hangs around Oxford a lot because it's got the Centre of Islamic Studies, which to me just sounds like a brothel where they rape kids.
Yeah,
but that's never mind. So yeah, I mean, after that, I don't think much happened in 2003, 2004. There was an Iraq War. 2003, there was an Iraq War. 2005, it was our turn to have a go, and we had 7/7, which I thought was very diplomatic, because the thing is, the Americans can't just refer to it as July 7th. It's 7/7, and we can refer to it as the 7th of July. And
Hobbit. If you want me to do a back of the net conspiracy theory for this, did it occur on 7/7 so it could be put in Yank newspapers as well as over here, and it was known as like 7/7?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. By making it 7/7, it was very diplomatic of the planners. And
also, very interesting thing is, was it like 4 of the 7 or maybe more came from Savile Town, which is a place that we talk about quite a lot.
Oh, well, what's Savile Town?
Savile Town is the place where there are 4,300 white people left, or even less than.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember the news article with the lady in the burqa selling ice creams?
No, I don't. But even DuckDuckGo's not that useful. I was trying to find I'm typing in 7/7 Muad'Dib bombing, but I can't find it. There was a documentary by someone who went by the name of Muad'Dib on YouTube, which has probably been purged since then. So if anybody,
there's the article there in. I'll show what a lovely place Savile Town is to the chat.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought you meant like Jimmy Savile Town. So there's like a lot of nonsense going on, but it's just brown people, so there's a lot of nonsense going on.
Oh, sorry. I got my figures wrong. There are almost no white residents to be found in Savile Town, Yorkshire. Last census found only 48 of 4,033 people living there were white British.
I feel sorry for those 48 people, unless they're Guardian reading tossers, in which case they get what they deserve. So, Iron Duke says, check out the Real Crusades History channel on YouTube, good channel. The Crusades were a counterattack for hundreds of years of Islamic aggression. I mean, yeah, I was talking with Iron Duke a few weeks ago.
Related article, the Blackburn halal butcher has never served a white person.
Yeah, not surprising. But yeah, a few weeks ago, I was talking to Duke about HMS Kingfisher, which was one. It wasn't really a stealth ship, but it was a ship which looked like it was unarmed. So the Barbary pilots,
Sevilletown area of Dewsbury. So it's quite a few of the 7-7 bombers came from Dewsbury.
Is Dewsbury twinned with Shekelsberg?
Dewsbury. It's DEW, as in the heavy Jew.
Oh, okay, Dewsbury. Yeah,
not like the woman who fell asleep on the synagogue steps and woke up with a heavy.
But yeah, there was an interesting documentary about the 7-7 attacks, and it was by Murdeeb, and it was on YouTube, but it's since been purged. If anybody in the chat knows what I'm on about or knows a link where they can find it, even a BitTorrent, let me know. I'll download it and I'll mirror it, probably on the Fortean Words channel, which you can watch the the film. Last film Rick Mell was in, called One by One, which is conspiratorial, and he's very serious in it. He plays a character called Ernest. But the reason I mention all this, yeah, well, he's a supporting role in this, which is unusual for Rick Mell.
Well, we do need to do that episode that me and you, Zero were talking about. We were going to call it Death at the BBC, and the kind of strange amount of people that.
Yeah, and they just end up dead.
Yes.
Because I mean the thing is I'm not like 100% convinced Rick Mell was murdered, but after seeing that film, it kind of underlines the importance of One by One. But back onto this documentary, the salient points I can tell you about the 7-7 bombings was there was a counter-terrorism drill at the same time the bombings were taking place, with the exact same scenario. So when the bombings were happening, the police response was confused and delayed.
Did you know the 7-7 bombings took out an Israeli?
Oh, that's very anti-Semitic. Oh dear. How terrible. My heart bleeds. Most of the bombings went off in the tubes. However, not all of them. One of them went off in the bus because the bomber got cold feet or something, and he went away. He got blown up. And one of the photographs of there was one of these buses. It had this poster on it saying, "Bold, brilliant, darkly terrifying." It was like supposed to be some slogan for a theatre play at the time, but I just thought of all the words to have next to it, especially considering how it looked like it was a setup. That to me that was a PR piece. Interestingly enough, there was a Brazilian electrician called Juan Charles de Menezes.
Oh, I just found a. Hold on a sec. A spine of. I just found 7-7 bombing. Spine of Dewsbury bomb plot ringleader blown under train. Ooh.
Oops.
Yeah. Don't.
Well, so this, and unfortunately, I can't remember much of the details about Juan Charles de Menezes, but apparently he had something to do with the 7-7 bombings.
Well, you know who was involved in the shooting, don't you?
No.
Now current head of the Met.
Cresta Dick, yeah.
Yes.
No, I do remember this, yeah, because that's the thing.
Was she one of the squad, or was she control in...
I think she gave control of it. No, here's the unusual thing. I mean, I think it's fairly well known that whilst the police in the UK are armed, and they all have access to shotguns, most of them don't go around with firearms. Juan Charles de Menezes was apparently, they wanted to arrest him for jumping a turnstile in the tube. So they chased after him and they shot him like 13 or 21 times in the back on the tube. So they executed him. And I believe he, being an electrician, was the one they commissioned to make some remote detonators for the bombs. So the thing is, they say suicide bombers, but I believe they were unsuspecting dupes. They told, yeah, we're going to do a drill, wear this backpack, You're going to pretend to be a bomber.
Well, there was a drill that day, wasn't there?
Well, that's what I mentioned earlier on, that there was drills going on for the exact same thing.
There was also a drill 9/11. There was a drill. I know that as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, NORAD was doing a thing at the time where they were doing a drill pretending that commercial airliners were being hijacked and flown into buildings. So when it happened, they were like, "Oh yeah, this is just part of the drill," and it meant the emergency response and the interceptions didn't happen until it was too late. But the thing is, with the 7/7 bombings, I think it was a case of like the bombers were going to various places, and then it turned out the drill was, "Oh, just kidding! It's not a drill. It's actually real. Now you're blown up." So I suspect that's why one of the bombers who wanted to get off from the tube, for whatever reason, didn't take his backpack off, and that blew up on the bus. So we had that. Then I think Richard Reed came about from it. Oh, sorry, just tying it back in.
Richard Reed's a shoe bomber.
Yeah.
There's also,
before he got onto Richard Reed
plot, wasn't there? That's why you're not allowed to take drinks on.
Well, this is the other sort of bullshit as well. But first of all, let's just wrap it up. Like you mentioned, Cresta Dick was in charge of the execution squad, which is very unusual. I mean, do you know any other, like, in history where the police have, like, executed somebody in public? So I can't think of any...
only Innocent Black Men.
Yeah. What, where they, like, pinned him down and shot him, like, 21 times in the back?
Yeah, absolutely. They do it to Innocent Black Men all of the time.
Oh, Uno says they shot him multiple times in the head as he was sat next to somebody. Yeah. Again, I'm sorry that this is all based on like a documentary I saw a decade ago, so it's not fresh in my memory. But I think it's worth talking about because it needs to not be forgotten. So yeah, Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, came later, and then because of that, we're just like, well, you might have terrorism in your shoe, so you got to take your shoes
Judy
off.
Wood, I get the Judy Wood. Judy Wood is the material scientist and former assistant professor of mechanical engineering who believes the World Trade Center towers were destroyed by a directed energy weapon.
Yeah, Judy Wood is small, long-nosed tribe, so she's talking shit.
Do you think Judy Wood is disinfo?
Well, look, put it this way: when I watch those documentaries about demolition, because do you ever watch those things like, they got like an old building site and they're rigging it up to blow up, and they've put explosives on support columns, or if it's not explosives, they'll use thermite if it's steel to cut through it, and then you watch the building collapse in on itself. So,
my favourite 9/11 meme is the Gordon Ramsay one. This steel beam is so undercooked. What did you use? Jet fuel.
But I mean, this is the thing. Those buildings, World Trade Centers 1, 2, and 7, all fell in on their own footprint rather than having the top slide off, which is what I'd expect to happen.
Didn't Building 7 also fall in like 20 minutes after the BBC announced it?
It fell 20 minutes before. So, like, there was an announcer, and I forget her name, but she was talking about it, and it's like, in the video feed behind her, it was like Building 7 was standing, and then 20 minutes after she said Building 7's fallen, it's like, oh dear, I think somebody's got their scripts messed up today. Somebody's jumping the gun. Yeah.
I mean, that's what you call a real scoop. That is.
Somebody's jumping. Hello, me.
Hello, you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Open up the feed because I couldn't see Celia Solis quote.
So, one of the things sort of going back to the One by One documentary, Rick Mell, is they're talking about which way the tower should fall. Like, they're playing Jenga, and if you take out supports from one side, which way would it fall down? And you said, well, it falls down on its side. And it's like, would it fall down that way every time? Yes. What if it fell down straight down? Well, it wouldn't. Well, it did. It did twice on the 11th of September. I mean, 3 buildings fell down, 2 planes hit them, 3 buildings fell down, all within their own footprint, like a controlled demolition would. And you don't need to say space lasers from space did it. It's just that we've got perfectly conventional technology. It kind of distracts from the fact that, well, look, 3 buildings in New York City came down, and then we got the current world as it is because of that. 7/7 happened.
My favourite bit of nonsense is like, well, there's too many people in fact, there'd be too many people. It absolutely couldn't happen.
Yes,
but
that's
the
why
thing is, though,
everybody...
you can't compartmentalise it all. That's the guys laying the charges get shot by another team who were told that they're all, I don't know, paedophiles or drug dealers or something, don't they?
Or terrorists.
Yeah, exactly.
But the other thing as well is just when they're sort of saying, "Oh, you'd never be able to hide such a vast conspiracy." It's like, if only there's a historical precedent of hiding such a vast conspiracy, like the Manhattan Project. Yeah. Where, what was it, 10% of the US's GDP was devoted to the project at one point, which is not an insignificant sum.
But you can also hide it in the NASA project, can't you? Jim Mars said that the NASA's all bullshit, and the NASA budget was just like a black budget that they used.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. The $2.3 trillion. It's like, would that be enough money to build like a space force with spaceships and space stations
and pew lasers like in Moonraker?
Yeah, I mean, it could be for all I know, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, like, what can you buy with $2.3 trillion?
I'm beginning to think it's not my favourite Bond film, but I think Moonraker is the most based Bond film.
It's pretty good, except this idea that he's trying to do IQ nationalism, and clearly he hasn't studied like regression to the mean. So you're just going to end up with a bunch of hybrid mulatto beige people, which are all going to have problems with organ donation.
Yeah, but you wouldn't, because I don't know whether you noticed one thing about Drax's crew.
Oh, I thought I saw frizzy-haired mulattoes in them and Asians and stuff.
Have you never? Oh, you need to rewatch it. It's
I've seen Moonraker 2 or 3 times. Okay, I'll rewatch it. But I mean, I watched all the Bond films.
I'm pretty sure they weren't. I'm pretty sure they were all pretty Aryan in Moonraker.
Well, watch it again. I'm pretty sure there's a pretty diverse cast in this thing. It's he is practicing eugenics, but it's a very what I call UN view of eugenics.
I think he did make sure they only mixed together, though, didn't he? I don't think he allowed them to mix between.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the best one to look at it.
I remember definitely that the breeding pairs were selected, weren't they?
The Forza Blanquita says it's Coonraker, so I think I'm right on this one. Well, I would recommend
Stephen
you watch.
James, I think, knows quite a bit about Dr. Wood, because he also says someone say Miss Wood is in fact a gentleman who develops a rather strong 5 o'clock shadow by 3 p.m, but it is in fact an expert.
Well, either way, she's a
Coonraker.
Yeah. But no, this I think I'll find you the link. Rob Ager did like a film analysis of Moonraker, and I thought it was quite good because he compares it to the book. And I do sort of remember it's not like just like an Aryan master race. It is diverse, IQ national. But yeah, the thing is so because of all these. Tim
Murdoch. Tim Murdoch, White Rabbit Radio. Dominic Morgul says because Tim Murdoch talks about NASA quite a bit, and he said there's like a space detente between the Americans and the they agree to disagree on space, don't they? So they work together. But Tim Murdoch talked with people for years who said by the end of last year that there's 3 trill missing. Don't know who they are.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you can even do with that. I mean, like I said, one of the things they're saying about how quiet and peaceful
lasers, that's what you can do with 3-2. You need
the other thing,
and space jetpacks.
You remember when we were doing the Hollow Earth episode, and I was talking. There's like one of the schizo posts on 4chan says because it's really quiet at the moment, it allows more accurate seismograph recordings of the Earth to be done, allowing the forces of good to see where the hidden evil bunkers are, where they're doing all this weird devil shit. and then they can go and infiltrate them. So the reason everyone's locked down is to keep things quiet, so they can more accurately identify where the bases are. I like to think that is actually going on, but we'll never know, I guess. But back to these things. So 7/7 happened. Richard Reed shoe bomb. You got to take your shoes off. And then there was that ridiculous plot with a liquid bomb, which it's just not going to happen. I've seen various like chemistry videos saying like, well, this is how you can make a liquid explosive, and no, you can't just like carry a half-liter bottle of Coca-Cola or 2 half-liter bottles of Coca-Cola, shake them together, and now you've got an explosive. There's more to it than that.
Are they saying the towers took down with Coke and Mentos? That's what they're saying.
I mean, there's a bit of a stretch, but suffice to say, do you remember the idea of it was
big enough bottle of Coke and enough Mentos? I reckon you could probably blow up the Twin Towers.
Yeah, you probably could. I mean, but the idea was is like
would you need? Bloody big one.
Well, it needs to be more than 500 mils, or is it 100 milliliters you can carry on the plane? But suffice to say, the idea was it's like, he had 2 500 mil containers on him, and that made a liquid explosive, and it could have blown up the airplane, even though it didn't.
Do you think they just watched? Is it Die Hard with a Vengeance? And then
yeah,
I've seen Die Hard with a Vengeance. Now it's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, the Die Hard with a Vengeance was just like, hey, you know how epoxy resin does this? What if there was a cool explosive which did the same thing? It's just like, yeah, but there's not. It doesn't happen. I mean, the only liquid explosive I can think of is nitroglycerin, and good luck not having that explode as the baggage handlers slam your bags around.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a load of bollocks, and again, the thing is, more and more these things are being done. It's just like, well, the public's accepted this new hoop we got them to jump through. Now we'll say, we'll ban gatherings of more than 6 people. So yeah. I'm hoping that Border Force would just go, how many on your dinghy?
Apparently transmission rates are different. They're depending on whether you pay to go to the event or not. So if you pay to go to an event, you're absolutely fine. Whereas if you're at home with 6 people, the transmission rates just go up through the roof.
If you're an illegal immigrant packed cheek by jowl and there's 50 of you on a rubber dinghy designed for 6 people, that's okay. I mean, gatherings of more than 6 people are now illegal in the UK. So Border Force needs to let them know that they will be fined if they enter the UK illegally. But at the same time, as they got no documentation, we'll provide them benefits and money so we can fine them. Yeah. So that's it, really. Bunch of bombings happened. It's all false flag. It's all government doing stuff. I reckon if there was an actual false flag, the reaction. No, if there was an actual proper bombing, I think the reaction would be very different.
Who know a card code just said, Stephen J. James, point your laser at a lithium 18650 battery. One hell of a bang, lol.
I have some of those batteries. They use them in vaporizers and torches. So
yeah. I did see someone do something to her. Is it an iPhone battery where it goes up like a rocket?
Yeah, I would do. Lithium can burn quite explosively, but that's the thing. Really, I'm trying to rack my brains now. I'm thinking to myself, is there a terrorist attack that happened recently which just didn't seem?
Well, there was that. Do you remember that one when they were going through laptops, where they were saying that laptops had?
Oh, wait, you could take out the innards of a laptop and then you could replace it with explosives.
Yeah, so they were making people turn their laptops on at the.
Yeah. I don't really remember that, and that seems to have passed now, because I've been on holiday before and I've seen people with laptop bags on it. They've not asked them to turn them off or on.
Well, you get like fashions in terrorism, don't you?
Well,
it used to be with there to take your toothpicks off you in case you held a whole in case you held a whole plane hostage with something to clean your nails with.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's possible, isn't it?
But airports are such absolute bullshit as well. I don't get any sort of well, I mean, you still do get hassle, especially if you carry like a lot of booze back with you if you go in the ports, but it's so much simpler just getting on the ferry than it is on the plane that I wish there were like more ferries to places I wanted to go to.
I know I keep banging on about this, but do you ever watch Border Force, the Australian customs program? It's like, I swear to God, those people are so fucking racist. Because what happens is, like, white couple go through with a couple of bananas they've accidentally left in a rucksack, get fined $600. You'll get this Chinese person where they're pulling out plants, dead animals, half dead animals,
live animals,
mouldy animals, bits of root with fucking insects on it, and they'll fine them about $200. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I have seen Border Force, and occasionally, they got people. It's like, why have you got all this money? Where are you going? Where's your green card? Who are you staying with? And it's just like, really, with these people, it's just like, look, you can't speak the language. You don't belong here. Go out. Get out. We'll take your money though, because but everyone's just saying like, oh, this will be a threat to the tourism. No, I think like have the
border getting a bit spicy because Stephen J. James just said, "Dear feds, I don't know these people."
Yeah. Well, just it's all right, guys. There's no intelligence here to gather. I speak as a Fed myself. That's why I get to talk about liquid explosives and YouTube channels saying like this is why it's bullshit about liquid explosives or a bloody shoe bomb for fuck's sake. I mean, the thing is, it's a good thing
that we forgot the underpants bomber. Germany underpants bomber.
Is that why your balls have to be squeezed?
Yeah,
because
there's the underpants bomber. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to get that story out.
I need to check your testicles for terrorism.
What was it?
I need to check.
Lewis Black used to do a great bit about how shit the TSA were.
I mean, it's a good thing Richard Reed didn't decide to like put like a bomb in his ass, because then it'd be like anal cavity search for everybody. Because you don't know.
Found it. So, underpants bomber failed in mission to blow. Oh no, I've got to show the picture of the geezer, and you'll know why he failed.
So I mean, just think about it. It's like, oh, you might have a stick of dynamite up your ass. It's like, yeah, I might have a stick of dynamite up my ass. Or alternatively, I could be boarding this Ryanair flight to
do terrorism.
They
get away with it because no one ever checks women, do they?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not even going to attempt to say that. Umar Abdul Muttalab.
Oh, give it to us.
Umar Abdul.
I'm good at speaking foreign, Mark. Give us the link. Go on. Give it us. I'll say it. His name's Abdul Nonce Kebab Abam. Not Abdul Nonce Kebaba.
Yeah. Have you figured out why he failed now?
Oh, actually, no. His name's Abdul Jamal Didn't Do Nothing. Yeah, so
Abdul Jamal didn't do.
Abdul Jamal Didn't Do Nothing was on a suicide mission when he attempted to detonate a bomb in his underpants as the plane approached Detroit. The bomb, however, failed to detonate aboard his flight, which was carrying nearly 300 people. Head of the Transportation Security Administration said the bomb failed to detonate because how long didn't do nothing. I've been wearing underwear. So the dirty.
What they say, like his sweaty ballsack destroyed the bomb, did it?
So the dirty coon was like, shall I wear my terrorism bomb on the day I go there to make sure nothing goes wrong with it? No, I'll just happily walk around with my dynamite pants, just as I go bumping and grinding in the nightclub.
Yeah.
The notorious underwear bombers plot in 2009 to blow up a plane on Christmas Day failed because the explosive became degraded after he wore the same pair of underpants for 2 weeks, according to a US official.
Weeks? Jesus Christ. The absolute state of these people.
Nigerian Nigel Abdul I Didn't Do Nothing was on a suicide mission when he literally didn't do nothing. attempted to detonate a bomb in his.
God, read the next paragraph.
I will. I'll get in there. Just slow down. It was on a suicide mission when he attempted to detonate a bomb in his underpants as the plane en route from Amsterdam approached Detroit. The bomb, however, failed to detonate aboard the flight, which was carrying nearly 400 people, but caused a brief fire that caused burns to his groin.
Ooh.
He was sentenced to life without parole in February 2000.
Great Balls of Fire.
Goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire. He was sentenced to life without parole in February 2012 after he pleaded guilty to all charges on the second day of his trial the previous October. The head of the Transportation Security Administration said this week the bomb failed to detonate because how long Abdul didn't do nothing had been wearing his underwear. Wow, I'm sure glad that was
Did you not read the thing from Mr. Pistol? You need to read a bit
further.
The quotes are funny. The quotes are hilarious.
John Pistol, or also known as Jean Pistolet, told the Aspen Security Forum the bomber had the device with him for over 2 weeks. Mr. Pistolet was then asked whether the bomb had come damp, to which he replied, "Let's say it was degraded." During his trial, Mbong doing nothing, said the bomb in his underwear was a blessed weapon to avenge poorly treated Muslims around the world. Oh, boo-hoo.
I think his blessed weapon weren't much use after that bomb failed to go off properly.
No, it certainly was not. Oh, man. I'm sorry, there's a video playing in the background saying, merging car collides with a truck on the bridge. Hilarious. During his trial, Mbongo didn't do nothing. Blessed weapon. After the bomb failed to detonate, passengers pounced on and forced him to the front of Northwest Airlines Flight 253.
Look at it. There, the pants. The pants are there. The picture of the pants is there.
Where the plane landed minutes later.
So the picture of the pants. Fucking hell.
A picture of pants that have been worn for the past 2 weeks.
Oh. Is that scorch marks or skid marks? I can't tell.
I don't know. Further investigation. I don't know about you, but to me that just I don't think there's enough material there to cause anything.
I mean, literally all he's going to do is blow his testicles off. That's about all it's going to do, isn't it?
The thing is, if he had done this in an apartment somewhere, a few years later, he'd been called Stunning and Brave for being tranny.
Is it that Mrs. Umbongo didn't do nothing?
Yeah. And then I can't read the next bit because there's a whole bunch of stuff which is in the background. The formatting's wrong, and now that video about the colliding car merging into the thing is gone. He
told investigators that his mission was improved after a 3-day visit with his mentor. Al-Awlaki and the bomb maker were killed in a US drone strike in Yemen in 2011, just days before Abdu didn't do nothing's trial. At the time, President Barack Obama publicly blamed Al-Awlaki for the terrorism plot. So that's that.
Did you not know about the
underpants bomb, and then I actually taught you something about bombing?
I forgot about the underpants bomber. It's one of those sort of stories that's so absurd. It's why I want to talk a bit more about the film Brazil, which maybe I'll rewatch at some point. But in the film, he's meeting his mum for dinner, and is that the film where the death squad come in and they're trying to go for him?
In London.
No, that's a dream sequence, but I think it's in Brazil. There's a death squad, and they're going to come kill him. But the reason they're going for him is actually a typo. They were supposed to go for a family, but they got one letter on the name wrong.
Oh right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I think that's the plot of Brazil. I can't really remember it, and there seemed to be the subplot in it,
Is it the plumber or something? The plumber's the head of the resistance or something.
Oh, there's a plumber terrorist, but he's not a terrorist because of anything like that. Because he repairs leaky taps without the proper approval and consent forms. So he'll just go and repair them without actually doing any of the paperwork, and
right.
that's terrorism. The thing, but yeah, the thing is, the protagonist in the film goes and sees his mum, and there's like bombs going off in flower pots near them, and they just sort of carry on nonchalantly, like, "Oh yeah, it's just another bomb. It's nothing to get worried about." And I feel this is much like the bombs which are going off these days. It feels like we're in Brazil. It's just, if you try and do something like build a staircase, the council will take it down. You remember that story? The man, he built a staircase for like £100, and the council said no, it's going to cost at least 18,000. So he built it for £180. Good looking staircase, like solid wood, good carpentry skills. They tore it down like immediately the day afterwards and fined him. It was like, but he just made a staircase.
Remember that? I remember that one about the guy that built the house, but he put loads of hay bales up around it. Because there's the planning consent loophole about 2 years, isn't there? Where if something's been up for 2 years, you automatically...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I must admit, when I was thinking I could make my own house, I was looking at hay bale construction because it was cheaper than brick.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't build it out of hay bales. He covered the house up with hay bales because he was like that. He obviously had that kind of money. He was on a farm or whatever. So he had like a hay bale surrounding the house, built the house, and then tried to hide it for 2 years.
Just hiding a house under some straw.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's probably other stories where like.
Oh, that's an interesting question. What better represents UK bureaucracy, Brazil or The Hitchhiker's Guide? Well, the Vogons are kind of very much a kind of satire of British bureaucracy, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's like, what, you're bulldozing our planet to make a bypass? Well, if you objected to it, you should have gone to your local Star Clusters notices board, and you see we put the notice up 2 weeks prior. So you had plenty of notice.
Oh, Byray says that 12 Monkeys is better dystopic fiction.
Yeah, I mean, 12 Monkeys, I'm not sure I want to watch that with the current plague. This plague, it's the most deadliest plague in human history, and it's a disease so bad that you might not even know you've got it. That's how serious it is.
Camouflaging itself into being a thing.
Yeah. But as long as you make gatherings of less than 6 people, you'll be all right.
Unless you go to a concert, that's absolutely fine, or a riot. That's also absolutely fine.
That's not. Or if you go to a supermarket where you're cheek by jowl with people because they seem to like be 2 meters ahead or in front of you, but they'll just pass shoulder by shoulder if they spot something on the shelves which they want. So yeah, it's it's a bit shit, isn't it?
So right, are we going to do a short show tonight then, Hobbit?
Well, I think, is there a positive note on this stuff? Yes, there is. So the point I wanted to make about this is it's that time of year again when people need to start talking about, like, hey, our world's completely changed because of these ridiculous things. And the fact is to realise that it's political theatre. It's designed to make you very serious and unfunny, because serious and unfunny people the system can manage. They don't like humour. And just look at all the people which are opponents of us. If you start laughing at them, they get really angry. So just keep on laughing and just realise that it's a fucking joke. That's it. I'm done.
You're done. We're done. So that's it. We're done. We'll
be back chat, just briefly. If anybody finds the Muad'Dib documentary about 7/7, please go on the Fortean Words Telegram channel.
Can you remember how you spell that?
7/7 documentary. Muad'Dib is like Muad'Dib in June. Paul Atreides gets called Muad'Dib. So.
Right. Okay. Oh, so Muad'Dib was the YouTuber.
Yeah, and I don't know what he called his documentary. It was just 7/7 documentary. And when I type in 7/7 documentary, all that comes up is BBC's whitewashing of it. So yeah, if any of you guys know, let me know. Let my friend Fremen on the Sand know. Let Hemi know. Just get a message to us somehow, because I'd like to watch that documentary again. On the positive note is that 37 is winning, so Iron Duke is right. We are making inroads and making waves all over the place, and it's doing the right thing. I'm hoping we can get a proper bona fide British nationalism, which isn't simping for Germany or pretending that history began in like 1939.
Oh, Uno, a card game, says Hobbit. It was on Richard D. Hall's site.
Oh, nice.
He said Stephen J. James also said Richard Hall's website might have it.
Yeah, okay. What's that? Rich Hall.
It's Rich Planet, isn't it?
Oh, Rich Planet.
I think it's richplanet.com.
Richplanet.net.
Yeah, I think so.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, okay. So let's see if I can find it. Oh, good. Search TV shows. Let's see if I type in just 77. 77 Ripple Effect. That's what it's called. The truth behind the 2005 London bombings. Thank you very much. Thank you, chat.
Well done, chat. And I think we're going to peace out there.
Yeah.
Night all.